Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV. We are back on the train to leveling up to 80. We're back on Summoner. So, here's how this is going to work out now. As you can see, I'm level 60. So, rather than doing it how I did before, where I leveled up, I leveled up every 5 levels, then I did the quest, leveled up 5 more levels, I did the next quest until I finished. This time around, what I'm going to do from 60 to 80, I'm going to be leveling up in 10 level increments. So I was level 50 before, now I'm level 60. So we're going to be doing all of the 50 to 60 quests first, then I'm going to glow up more, level up to 70, do the 70 to 80, and then do the 60 to 70 quests. Now, and I'm gonna make a mention of this in pretty much all of the job videos, or at least the battle ones. There is only one single level 80 quest, and that is it. Because in Shadowbringers, job quests were replaced with the role quests and the Crystarium, which all of those will be in separate videos. But how I'm gonna handle those in a specific way. So those role quests won't be in the video. So that's how these videos are going to work now. So for right now, we're going to be starting at the 50 quests, 50 to 60. Then in 60 to 70, then it's the single 80 quest. So that's pretty much how it works. So these will probably be long videos, because these are 20, because these are literally there's literally like 20, no, can't remember how many there's, but I think there's like maybe, yeah, there's about 10 job quests in total, I think. Because I think it's increments of 2. I think it's increments of 2 or 3. So yeah, these videos will probably be pretty long. So let's start this. Cecily, you visit me at the most opportune moment. I have tidings that you of all people should hear. After our last encounter, I presented our findings on the art of summoning to my fellow scholars. Suffice it to say that the response has been enthusiastic. In addition to a flood of offers to assist my research, I have also been promised a contribution of several rare elegant tombstones. I imagine that any summoning knowledge hidden within those relics would prove a great benefit to us both. Shall we journey out to Mordono now and pay a visit to Rambros? Rambro? Okay. See what that guy's up to. Yeah, these videos will probably be pretty long. I'm not quite sure how long they're gonna be. We'll see how long it takes to do all the 50 to 60 quests. But I did say I was gonna bunch up the 50 to 80 quests in one video, so that's what I'm gonna do. So despite how long it'll go, that's how it's gonna be. I'm not gonna be doing it where I do make one video 50 to 60, another video 60 to 80, or whatever, 60 to 70. No, I'm not doing that. Cecil, how do you fare, my friend? As ever, we here at St. Coinox fine remain firmly entrenched in our efforts to excavate the secrets of the Allegan Empire. The members of Noah must be armed with knowledge if they are to prove truly to pave the way to the future. I see you here with the intrepid Ymithra. I assume you have come to collect your promised tomestones. I am most eager to sink my scholar's teeth into something new. Then allow me to feed your fervor. We have uncovered a number of relics which, on cursory inspection, appear to contain detailed mythology on several summoning incantations. Who better than you to decipher their mysteries? Leviathan, Ramu, Shiva, with every new primal that appears, the importance of a thorough study of summoning magic becomes ever more apparent. Speaking of those particular deities, Cecil, I am given to understand that you had a hand in defeating every one of them. Your name features quite prominently in the reports we received from the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And as you were present at each of their downfalls, it then follows that your aura was infused with the essences of those primals. Could it be possible that you now have the potential to call forth new Edgy? Sadly, no. I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot call forth new Edgy. Well, technically you can, but they're like timed. They don't stay forever. But it's, well, of course, the most trying of the requisite conditions has already been met. All that remains is to perform the summoning rituals at locations charged with the appropriate elemental energies. Master Rambros, can you suggest any places in which the etheric balance tips heavily towards either water, lightning, or ice? The stinging shards should adequately serve your needs for lightning. The area is alive with a constant discharge of crackling energy. The stinging shards it is then. Let's perform the austerities of lightning and attempt to bring Ramu Edgy into this world. I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is not gonna happen. As sad as it is, it's not gonna happen. I wish it was a thing, but it's not. Just gonna break your hearts right now. Notifications? Let's then begin the austerities of lightning. Concentrate on shifting your etheric energies toward the desired element. Alright. I sense nothing. I do not understand. All conditions have been fulfilled. The summoning ritual has never failed us before. Whatever could we be missing? Well, there's little point in us remaining here. Ramu Edgy will not answer your call. Shall we return to Redania? Well, I could have told you that. Oh boy. So I thought hard about how I was going to handle these quests going on forward. I thought, you know, maybe I'll do as before, do the quests as a level. Wait till level 80, then do all the quests. The reason why I started doing this is because, well, mainly because, coming up on July 30th, I will be going out of town for vacation, so there won't be any videos going up or recorded. So the main reason why I'm doing quests in 10 level increments now is because it'll give me something to do while I'm on vacation. Level up to 60 while I'm on vacation, and then when I get home, I can record all the job quests and blah blah blah. So that was like the main reason why I decided doing this. Hello, Cecil. I scoured my research notes for a hint as to why the summoning failed, but there are no revelations to be found. I am forced to conclude that the cause must lie outside our current understanding of the art. Thus, I shall begin studying the tomestones we received from Rambros. I hope they contain something heretofore unknown wisdom. Mayhap all these new Edgy require a different manner of catalyst. While I delve into this mystery, I suggest you continue practicing your art. We enter in an uncharted realm of summoning, and you must be prepared, body and spirit. I think it's like 3 level increments. No, it's 2 level increments. Okay, I couldn't remember. I figured it was 2 level increments. Greetings, Cecil. Since we last met, the arduous task of deciphering those tomestones has occupied my every waking moment. I had made significant progress, but the cause of the ritual's failure yet eludes me. I am somewhat heartened, however, by my discovery of a number of new incantations. In fact, there is one spell which I believe you can soon master with minimum instruct... Who's this guy? Pray forgive my interruption. You're the leaders of the research effort on summoning magics, yes? I am Captain Dancing Wolf. That's a name of the Immortal Flames. You're far from home, sir. It is fortunate that I find you together, as I have questions for you both. And what would the Immortal Flames want with us, Captain Wolf? Does Uldal's military have some vested interest in the activities of summoners? Just one summoner in particular, madam. We seek a man by the name of Tristan. Oh, I remember him. Then you do know him. I read reports that you had been in pursuit of our former soldier. But I always like to have confirmation on our intelligence. The Immortal Flames has his own reasons for wanting Tristan found. If you have any idea on his whereabouts, then I must know what you know. I don't remember what happened to Tristan. It's been a while. Refresh my memory. So Tristan managed his summoning magics against you and was ultimately consumed in... Oh, that's right. He turned into a fireball. And you're certain he perished. Have we given you reason to suspect otherwise? I do not doubt the veracity of your tale, but there has been an incident. A merchant caravan was attacked recently by a man who, by the description given, closely resembles Tristan in appearance. Should we allow the crime of a former Immortal Flame go unanswered, then the integrity of the entire organization would be called into question. I will find them and see that justice is served. We looked on as Tristan was engulfed in flames, not remains, not even a charred corpse, and we believed him utterly consumed. Could he have somehow survived that inferno? If he is alive, then we have unwittingly permitted the escape of a known pawn of the Paragons. Captain Wolf, you must allow us to accompany you on your investigation. Your combined expertise in the summoning arts is most welcome, Lady Ymitra. The attack occurred on one of the roads out of Camp Drybone. Join me at the settlement proper and we can continue the research for witnesses. Oh boy. I'm also trying out, as you can see, I'm trying out a new glam for casters. If you're familiar with how my caster's glam was, it was a swimsuit. And as much as I like the swimsuit, I want to try something different. And I kind of like it. It resembles Summoner. Like, it's the same, it's literally the same kind of armor, but it's just a slightly different design. It resembles Summoner, it resembles Scholar. What do you mean? Oh, that's right, I didn't do this. Alright, Camp Drybone. I also keep forgetting to... I also keep buying earrings when I don't need to buy earrings, because I have the earring from the Endwalker pre-order that gives me bonus XP up all the way up till 80. Or no, what was it? All the way up to, yeah, all the way up to 80. So... Ymitra, Cecila, as we are now cooperating on this investigation, I see no further reason see no reason not to trust you with some of its duties. Let's split up and find out what those merchants know. I should probably block the chat. Hang on. I tried giving the thing a blur effect, but since I'm using a capture card rather than like a simple window capture on PC, it didn't work so well. A friend of mine survived the assault, said he even caught a glimpse of the villain's twisted face. I'm certain he would tell you more if he had not left camp the moment his injuries were bound. Thanks. Your friend's worthless. Anyone in here? The attack on the road? I hear the man who did it was swathed in a robe, but that was black as not midnight. One of Ifrit's tempered, I should think. Oh boy. Alright. Alright, now that you mentioned they did discard in the body of a merchant. Such things are hardly noteworthy around here, though. As such, I failed to take notes. You're worthless to me. Oh shit. Hang on. Something fell. Oh. My footrest fell. Give me my footrest. There we go. Ugh. Ugh. Alright. Gotta go up. Or no, you gotta go down. So we have one merchant left alive to tell a tale. According to my inquiries, our intrepid trader will likely be en route to Highbridge. We may yet catch him on the road if we are swift. That's a cool looking sword, though. I'll never use it because I got a better sword. That's cool. That's cool looking, but it's cool nonetheless. There you are. What are you doing? Malza! I should take on Chocobo. And another reason why I decided to do level 10 level increments is because I don't have to buy gear every time I get to a certain every 5 levels like I did before. I heard a Mauser war cries. Are you unhurt, sir? Yes, thank you. Well, aside from the injuries I sustained from our previous incident, I suppose. First the caravan, and now this. Must Saul be so eager to usher me into his hall? It is concerning the assault on your caravan that we endeavored to seek you out, sir. Is there aught you can tell us of the attacker? I should be glad to see him brought to justice. Though I did not see his face in any great detail, concealed as it was in the depths of a black cowl, I did glimpse of locked silvery hair. By his stature, I marked him of Huron stock, and by his fiery servant, a hell-spawned demon in disguise. A fiery servant? Oh, that's the one! Where do people find those things? The villain was in command of Ifrit Edgy then, and we know the affinity Tristan will has for primal flame. Aye, all the evidence points towards our man. Thank you for your cooperation, sir. We've been of great help to you have been a great help to our investigation. I'll think nothing of it. Consider it poor recompense for my rescue at the hands of this gallant adventurer. I must report these developments to my superiors at the Hall of Flames. Pray join me in Ul'dah. There is more I will discuss with you. Alright. Ul'dah we go. Guess I don't have to go back to Gridania. Image! Privacy! You know, Tristan's older brother, Kahedin, I didn't even know he had a brother. Both were soldiers in service in the Order of Flames. Both were soldiers under my command. Our unit was one of the many deployed in the mission to destroy the primal Ifrit, an operation that succeeded at a staggering cost. Those who were not incinerated were tempered, with Kahedin suffering the latter fate. As you well know, a primal's power— oh, that's right, I remember now. As you well know, a primal's power is fueled by the faith of his thralls. And the greatest mercy he can grant such unfortunates is a swift journey to Thaw's hallowed halls. Tristan volunteered to end the cursed existence of his own brother. He returned to Ul'dah with Kahedin's blood on his blade, and I watched, helpless as the guilt slowly strangled the life in his eyes. No words of comfort could reach him, and when he at last quit the flames, he was a husk of the man he once was. Yeah, I could see that destroying a man. Never did I imagine his grief-maddened mind would drive him to such desperate evils. Hey, desperation drives people, man. Tristan was my soldier, and it was my responsibility to stop him. Thanks to your aid, we have mounting proof that he is still out there. When you are ready, we shall make our move. We are content to follow your lead in this, Captain Wolf, and we should certainly be prepared if we are to meet the Dark Summoner in battle. To that end, Cecil would teach you one of the incantations that glean from the repositories of the Allegan Wisdom. 'Tis a spell of damaging magic employed in combat by the Summoners of Eld. Let us call upon Captain Wolf again once you have mastered its use. It would not do to engage Tristan without stumbling over unfamiliar magics. Give me that. I can finally use it outside of Palace of the Dead. Alright. Next. What was that? Oh, Rune Mastery. My rune will level up! Auspicious timing, says so. There have been news, and none of it good. Our soldiers in Central Thanalan have reported another attack. I looked over the notes for the initial investigation, and it would seem Tristan, or someone who looks very much like him, has struck again. I'll have one of my men contact Dimitra with the details, but I suggest we head out to Nadawa Mines immediately and question one of the surviving victims. This guy gets around. Alright. I gotta go that way. Was that Black Brush? What do you mean, more questions? I've spilled me tale to 3 different soldiers already. Work gets further and further behind every time I gotta stop and talk to you folk. Here's an idea, though. Why about you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours? That big lad in uniform there looks like he could lift some good-sized rocks. And what about you, lass? You some sort of mage? We had some trouble with the local Spriggans sweeping up our fire silver, and you're just the woman to get it back. That stuff's as rare as chocobo teeth, you know. Now, just a moment, sir. We don't have time for these distractions. Then maybe I don't get all the time to talk to you. Not until there's a little give with your take. Great, wonderful. I fear it means to be stubborn about this, Tesla. Please humor the man and retrieve his precious ore for the Spriggans. I mean, I can understand him. I'd get frustrated too if people kept just interrupting my work. So, I totally get him. I totally get where he's coming from. You're a little late there, Ragnarok. Where's your XP at anyway? Not great. Not great at all. You'll eventually hit level 10. I really should respec him to be a healer, honestly. I might do that. I've talked about it before, but I never did it. And since I don't really need a tank anymore... I mean, eventually, being a strong word, eventually I'll have all the 3 rolls, but that will take ages. It took me ages to get the 3 rolls maxed out on my main. I mean, when I say ages, granted I didn't do I wasn't like actively, you know, trying to level them up, but it took me a very, very long time. There you go. You find the Spriggans last. Here's your ore. Oh, you got the whole lot back. Much appreciated. My apologies. My studies took rather longer than I... Captain Wolf, is everything alright? Everything's fine. Now let's hear your story, sir. I reckon you've earned it. Well, he was in the mine loaning the cards with the haul for the day when this bloke in robes appears. Doesn't say a word. The bastard just snaps his fingers and sets his pet demon to light me mates on fire. Ifrit Edgy. Cecil, if you'd be so kind. bloody hell, that's the fiend that I saw! And it is as we feared then. And this robe-clad man, do you have any idea why he attacked you? Well, there's not as more than silver to be had from Nanawa. On a good day, we dig up our fair share of crystals as well. That seems to be what he was after. I'm not ashamed to say that I fled from life once folks started going up in flames. But when I went back to sort out the mess, the cart we had the crystals in it was empty. He took them all? Ah, every single one! And that's all I gotta say about that. Hope you catch the bastard. Crystals. There was a crate of crystals on the list of goods stolen from that caravan. He must have taken everything else to conceal his intent. Our quarry grows careless, or simply impatient. It's time I re-examined certain other incidents that we did not think related to this case. Meet me in the Hall of Flames and we shall discuss the matter further. I can only imagine only one reason why my man such as Tristan would seek to acquire a wealth of crystals. Come, Cecil, let us not keep Captain Wolf waiting. He's gonna summon a primal! What? Not on my watch. It's crazy how this game's gotten extremely popular over the last week. I mean, it's insane. Ever since Asmongold started streaming the game, the game just skyrocketed in popularity. Like shit. The amount of people that I find in city-states now is just is insane. I inspected our incident report records, paying close attention to cargo manifests that included crystals. We had attributed several recent raids to the Amalja, but the victims were, every one of them, burned to death. Not entirely impossible considering the lizardman's affinity for fire, but to find not a single arrow or spear wound? Tis unlikely. Highly unlikely. Yep, I should state aloud that we are all thinking. Judging by the sheer number of crystals involved, we must assume that this villain intends to call forth the primal. After my encounter with the Freed, I learned just how devastatingly powerful these entities can be, and I believe that summoners, with their ability to harness such power, hold the potential to achieve great things. But if Tristan is truly mad enough to summon a primal, then that unthinkable act, and the bloody deeds he performed in preparation for it, will cause people to question the motives of all who practice the summoner's art. My studies of the tomestones revealed to me the tale of adulation. The summoners of Iolab were revered as heroes for their part in defeating the ancient primals. But reverence slowly turned into revulsion as practitioners, intoxicated by their own immense power, began wielding the art of summoning as a means to further their own selfish ambitions. And it's not to say, of course, that all summoners chose to become tyrants. Amongst the common people, however, it became a strongly held superstition that those who meddled in the powers of primals ultimately fell into the embrace of evil. This superstition blossomed to outright terror, and that is when the mage hunts began. By the end of the Third Astral Era, the last of the summoners had vanished from the stage of history. And should we allow Tristan to go through his plans and we risk a repeat of that tragedy, I will review the state of patrols and the crystal trade routes. We will catch him. Cecil, before I joined you at the Nanawa Mines, I was able to recover another incantation that may prove useful in the coming days. Wield its power wisely. Alright. I finally get a skill upgrade! Alright. 56. Breezing through this. Greetings, Cecil. I hope you are prepared to take action. Ever since we increased our presence on the trade routes, our Black Road villain has ceased his attacks. Now is our time to go on the offensive. With the blessings of my superiors, I have arranged for a lightly guarded shipment of crystals, with which we will lure Tristan into an ambush. And I want you there when we spring the trap. I have already sent word to the Mitran, she'll meet us in Camp Blue Fog. Let us bring the end to this, Cecil. Alright, let's do it. Where you at? There you are. Cecil, you're here. Good. Our crystal couriers have just left camp. The plan is simple. The caravan will head towards the processing plant, but conveniently break an axle before reaching the east watchtower. We three will take up separate positions nearby and wait for Tristan to take the bait. I've had the driver complain long and loudly about the lack of a suitable escort for his precious cargo, so you can be reasonably sure that an attack will come. I trust you need no further explanations. Head to your assigned position and do your best to keep out of sight. Alright. This seems like a simple task. Let's do it! Really? This is my position? I'm kind of in the open? Really? Really? Alright. It burns! It burns! An Ascian! Die, Ascian! At least he looked like an Ascian. He had Ascian robes. Talk to me, soldier. I'll live, Captain. He popped out of thin air. Took me by surprise. Same happened to me. Another man in dark robes stepped through some mountain or portal and assailed me with spells. My position also came under attack. An underling judged by the ease of which I dispatched him, but I've never seen such teleportation magics. It's an Ascian. No, it cannot be. You know this man, Captain Wolf? This is Kahedin, Tristan's brother. But how? He was tempered, slain. And now both siblings have disappointed me. I should exercise more care in choosing my pawns. More Ascians! An Ascian? That voice. You're the one who taught Tristan the art of summoning. Have you come to inflict yet more misery upon the world? Tristan? Yes, that was the other's name. I had hoped to groom him, granted him the knowledge of Aleg's mages that he might unleash his wrath against the primals. Alas, he was all too easily vanquished. No matter. The Bringer of Light has proven a more than adequate replacement for my failed Godslayer. With every primal you kill, the beastman's fervor grows ever hotter. We need but supply the tribes with crystals and watch these summon ever more terrible deities. When the confluence of chaos reaches its peak, the world shall be swallowed in darkness. Our master shall rise again. He's gone. And we should be gone as well. I shall see that my soldier is treated for his wounds, then await you outside the Hall of Flames. The Ascians just don't know when to quit! Good lord! They just don't know when to quit. I believe some reassessment is in order. We now know that the Black Road menace we thought to be Tristan was actually his brother Kahedin, a reanimated puppet under the control of an Ascian. Both brothers were present at Ifrit's defeat, so Kahedin's aura too would have been staying with the Primal's essence, which, if I understand correctly, would explain its ability to command the Edgy. But for that Ascian to raise the lad's corpse and press him into service as his pet summoner, I shall see the Blackguard suffer for his cruel depravity. I mean, that's how Ascians work. Aye, the Paragon has made crimes for which he must answer, but we must move with great caution. The power of these immortals is not to be underestimated. Cecil, I've uncovered yet another spell for summoning magic. the casting which would drive a lesser mage to her knees. After the battles you have fought, however, I believe you're strong enough to wield it. I will return to Gridania and redouble my efforts to decipher the remaining tomestones. We cannot face an Ascian unprepared. That's certainly true. That is certainly true. Just mulling through this. Cessa, if you come for word on the Ascian, I fear I have little progress to report. We did, however, hold a service for Kahedon. I assembled the soldiers from his old unit, and together we conveyed his remains to the priests of Thal. As for Thanalin's trade routes, there is still the odd raid by bandits or basement, but not that involves men in black robes. I must confess, I am at a loss on how we might track our foe. You have spoken with Ymitra. I believe she's had new findings to share with you. 1 second. Okay. Gridania! The Free Company's talking about Space Jam 2, and yeah, it wasn't a great movie. It kind of sucked. So there you are, we have much to discuss. I have been engrossed in my studies, you see, seeking every advantage of our inevitable clash with the Ascian. As I struggled to unravel the ancient knowledge of the tomestones, I unlocked a good many mysteries, including the reason why you were unable to call forth Ramuiji. When you summon an avatar, you draw upon your body's reservoir of ether to grant life and form to what is known as an arcane entity. That much we already knew. I had, however, overlooked the simple fact that our etheric reserves are finite. Thus, the magnitude of Eji that you were able to summon is limited by the extent of your own life force. Simply put, if the Eji is too powerful, then the summoning fails. But do not despair. The summoners of Alec devised a method by which one might circumvent this intrinsic limitation. Rather than attempt to summon a separate physical manifestation of certain Eji, the most accomplished mages discovered that far less ether was required to infuse themselves with the essence of the primal's power. The technique by which the summoner would achieve this heightened state was known as a trance. What say you, Cecil? Shall we see if you can master this method? It may even allow you to contend with the Paragon, but not if the essence of an ordinary primal. Now we must set our sights to the most potent entity, the most fierce. I speak of the Elder Primal Bahamut. On the day of the calamity, the dragon vanished in an explosion so massive that his ether was carried to the far corners of Eorzea. You, among many others, have already been touched by his essence. All that remains is to perform the meditative ritual in this place steeped in Bahamut's energies, and you should be able to enter the trance of the Dreadworm. As for setting foot within the only suitable location, I believe Captain Wolf can assist us. Shall we pay him a visit? Maybe that dialogue is different if he had done coils? I don't know. Oops, not you. Ymitra here is certainly not one to do things by half. She petitioned me to help you gain entry to the ether-soaked wasteland of the Kartnu Flats. The Flats are a disputed territory jointly administrated by the three member nations of the Eorzean Alliance. and attempting to earn full minutes to the area is a bureaucratic nightmare. As a matter of stand, I was only able to secure permission to visit the Immortal Flames' airship landing. If you wish to prepare to enter the flats proper, we'll have to do so under the cover of night. Prepare yourself for a tense journey, then make your way to the landing of Nohir and Ul'dah. I have one of our elite flyers standing by. Alright. Airship landing, here we go. There's a thingy! I'll fly to the front door of the flyers, but that's as far as you're authorized to go. Stay in the landing or face the consequences. Yeesh. Fine. Rude. What is so bad? I mean, sure, at the time Omega was sealed away, but other than that, what's so bad about this place? I never, besides Omega, I never really understood why this place was so bad. So this is what became a Carton Flats. Never before have I sensed such tainted ether. Yep, let us not linger long, Sesla. Turn your mind now to Bahamut's terrible majesty. Allow his power to seep into your very being. Nope. Nothing? We may need to deepen your meditations. Do you truly attempt to harness the mighty Bahamut? The essence of the Elder Primal shall tear your mortal frame asunder. Chaos rises in the presence of power, but you, bringer of light, can be allowed to shine no brighter. Come and be doused in the endless waters of the 12th chalice. Alright, guy. Bahamut's power shall never be yours. You die here, mortals. Why'd I do that? False cheese, we needed more time. No, it's not abandon the ritual. Use Bahamut's residual energy to unlock the trance. You play with fire and perish in the infernal flames. Now you die. Sessa, quash with your senses. There'll be pockets of lingering ether. Find the densest concentrations. Focus. Will yourself be one of Bahamut's essence. I'll cut you down, wet blades of winds. Another edgy? He won't stop, will he? Just concentrate and fold your mind in Bahamut's wings. Your persistent bringer of light will bury you in stone. For the love of Thal, Sessa, might you meditate a little faster? I'm trying, man. I forgot to put the image up. It's working, Cessa. Find another pocket of ether. You still don't understand. The waters of the chalice are endless. Where does he find such stamina? Did not yield, Cessa. Did he summon 3 Edgy at once? I should have brought reinforcements. Continue seeking the ether. Without the trans, we cannot prevail. Guys don't know when to quit. Die. No. Denied. What just happened? No. The might of the Dreadworm. It is done. The trance is yours. I'll sweep aside these lesser edgies. Dead! Or has it exploded? What do you do now? I did not anticipate this. You should not have been able to complete the meditations under such duress. But I shall not underestimate you again. Our next meeting shall be your last, bringer of light. We did it. We faced the Paragon and lived. Old news for me. And it's all thanks to you, Cessa. You and the towering might of Bahamut that you now command. Well, I wouldn't say I controlled all of it. Only a fragment. Aye, despite the Ascian's interference, we achieved what we came here for. But I'm afraid this is not the place to celebrate. Let's return to the landing before the dawn's light finds us in a forbidden territory. Again, why is this place such besides Omega? Why is this place disputed territory? I don't really remember the cause or the reason. All right, take me away. Take me somewhere. shit. That's not my sprint. It doesn't matter. It's right here anyway. Alright. We have reason to rejoice, my friends. It would seem our clandestine adventure went unnoticed by my superiors. And more importantly, we seized the upper hand in a battle against an Ascian. The trance did appear most effective against our mortal foe. For such a hurried night's work, we managed to reap a quite harvest indeed. Aye, but it's a pity the bastard fled when he did. I would have liked to have settled the score then and there. 'Twas for the best, Captain Wolf. If we would truly defeat the Ascian, then we must be prepared to destroy him utterly, body and soul. Alright. Boom! Alright, what's next? Cessa, I was about to send for you. The Mitra should be here any moment. Ah, wonderful, we're all here. I've been pondering about some metaphysical theories and what would discuss any conclusions with the both of you. Ugh. But ever since I battled on the flats, when the memory of our adversary fleeing the field has been preying upon my mind. According to the Scions and their research, the Paragons are effectively immortal. They said to be ethereal entities with no physical form of their own, instead possessing mortal host after mortal host in an endless procession down the ages. But once since I had acquired the Dreadworm trance, the haste with which the Ascian withdrew did not seem to meet to the action of a being who harbors no fear of death. Thus to pose a question. Could it be that the 12th Chalice and his black masked brethren are not as practiced in the art of possession as their red-veiled masters? At the time of the battle, our bodies were the only available hosts nearby. Assuming he also lacks the superior's facility to flee to the space betwixt worlds, I suspect that our foes' own cowardice stem from an inability to force his soul into our living vessels. That would explain much, including the reason why he chose the deceased Kahedon to serve as his puppet. Aye, I believe the theory is sound. Shall we put it to the test? If we're able to lure the 12th Chalice to a location to avoid a potential host, then we might succeed in destroying him for good. Then what are we waiting for? We must begin devising a plan to draw the villain from hiding. Not so fast, Captain Wolf. We must first obtain the means by which we can ensure the Ascian's demise. A mighty coup de grace delivered before he has a chance to retreat. So there is a passage within the last tome that describes how the power of a trance can be unleashed in a single devastating blast. The technique itself, however, was not explained. According to my research, it can only be learned from a forbidden book found on the shelves of the great Gubble Library. To reach the library will require a long and perilous journey over our Balthia spine and to the wilds of the Dravanian hinterlands. But I believe we three are up to the task. Shall we be on our way then? The key to defeating the 12th Chalice will soon be within our grasp. Okay. Gotta go to Idleshire. Again, I hate this how this place doesn't have a freaking crystal to teleport to. I've said it so many times. It's annoying. Alright, let's get on over there. Gotta go way, way over there. Past Alexander. Alexander still remains, well, there's Eden, but Alexander is definitely my second favorite 8-man raid. It has fantastic music to it. Omega was nice, but there were some fights in Omega that were just straight frustrating and annoying. Like the Omega fight itself against Omega. Not the second, I think it was the second to last one where he had the spinning around with the lasers. Yeah. That mechanic always trips me up, and it's annoying. I don't know. Omega didn't have... There's something Alexander had that Omega didn't have. Omega was good, but I prefer Alexander. Alright. Oh, there's a dealie. What's going on here? A flare for the dramatic. I took that image up too early. Oops. Now that we have all arrived, we can enter the library and begin our search for this forbidden tome. You're strayed far from the safety of your cities, foolish mortals. Whatever could you be planning? Now look who decided to join us. Again? Always he arrives at the worst possible moment. 'Tis no coincidence, I fear, and this time he leaves not to chance. Oh look, he's brought brethren with him. 'Twasn't amusing at first to watch you stumble like clumsy children, but too insistent in your dabbling. Those who will not dance upon our palms shall be crushed within our fist. No more shall we endure your blinding effulgence. There can be no rival to the encroaching darkness. You have earned the ear of La Habrea's most loyal servants. Did you imagine the battle ended with our master's defeat? Stand now, bringer of light, suffer the pain of our retribution. Would it not be wiser to retreat and seek the tome another day? They mean to afford us no such opportunity, my dear captain. Either we stand and fight, or we die. Well, shit! And then your last La Habrea, we pronounce your doom! We'll not surrender to your tyranny. But I hope you find another way. Anyway, we have some unfinished unfinished business, Ascian. Get out of here, you damn healer. Alright, so far your lackeys aren't impressing me. I'm dealing zero damage to this guy. Oh, he has stone skin, that's why. Not anymore. You've grown in power, it's true, but it shall not be enough. Wander to the heavens, heed my call. Oh, his teeth is spitting boulders. Where are that rock, Zesla? I'm afraid no damn flying boulder. I guess this is one of the things where I can't put them too close to each other, they'll blow up, right? How do you yet stand? Yield to the inevitable. They'll never yield to you, your evil ends this day. I will have vengeance for my men. Now you die! I cannot. I am undone. I failed you, Master. How? We were raised into greatness by Lahabray himself. He defeated my master, bringer of light. Mayhap it is meet that your strength was beyond us. But the day will come. You will not escape us this time, Ascian. Now, Cecil, unleash your power. Oh, obliterated. It is done. The Paragon is no more. How we did it, I have no idea, but we did it. And the most present spell, Cecil. But where did you learn how to cast it? Did we not first require the library's tome? My apologies, Captain, but in order to deceive one's enemies, 'tis best to begin with one's friends. There was never any such book. All that Cecil truly required was the catalyst of battle to focus her energies. Oh, it was a ruse! I knew that once the Ascian observed us traveling towards his library, he would assume we sought some long-buried wisdom. He could not risk leaving Cecil free to gain even greater power. And so this entire journey was a feint. A trap to lure him into the wilds. Well, you certainly had me fooled. Remind me never to cross woods with you, Mitra. Huh. She's taking that from frickin' Nishola. Now I know where she gets it from. It's from Nishola. Together we have achieved something of which few people can boast. The defeat of an Ascian. Never could have accomplished this deed alone. Thanks to your actions, Tristan's case can also be put to rest. Long have I been haunted by the horrors of that Ifrit mission, but at last I feel a measure of peace. I will return to Ul'dah and have a gravestone for Tristan laid beside his brothers. I may not have his bones, but it will be a place where the survivors from his unit can pay respects to the man he once was. I bid you farewell, my friends. May we meet again under happier circumstances. You're very far from home. Hope you have a safe journey. It's quite a ways. I too would extend to you my gratitude, Cecila. In addition to untold slaughter, you have prevented something's mad tragic history from repeating itself in a new age. You must take greater precautions against this ancient art falling into the wrong hands. I'll work alongside my colleagues in the Suns and be sure that the spread that summoning is closely monitored. If only we could uncover a lasting solution to the problem of predicament. There must be a way to break this self-perpetuating cycle of meeting force with force. As for myself, I shall continue my research into primals and summoning, and offer these scions whatever support I am able. I'm certain our paths shall cross again, Cecila. They will, when I'm level 70. Nice! Cool! Got new deals. I probably won't wear this set, but let me look at it. This is the relic armor for Heaven's Ward, and it's weaker than what I already have, so it doesn't really matter. I have no intentions of wearing it. I mean, it's cool. It's cool looking armor. Let me see. Let me dye it. Is this dyeable? No. The green kind of throws everything off. Oh well. But yeah, that's the 60 to 70 quest. That took an hour. Not too bad. So I predict the 70 to 80, their 60 to 70 quests will be pretty much the same way. So, I will be back when I'm level 70. Alright, we are level 70. So, we've got level 60 to 70 job quests to do as a summoner, so let's get right on back into this. Cecil, I've had the most fascinating news. It would seem that the ruins of ancient Alec have yielded to us a tome containing unknown secrets of the summoner's art. The tome in question is currently being kept under Rambro's watchful gaze at our dig site in Mordona. I'll be heading there shortly myself, but I would not begrudge you on an earlier peek. Alright, let's go check it out. So, yeah, going from HOH from like level 61, because you have to be level 61 in order to get access to HOH, in conjunction with roulettes, it takes about as long to get from 61 to 70 as it took me to get through to 30 to 50. So, yeah. Hopefully, from 71 to 80, you can do Zadnor or Boja stuff. So I'm kind of curious to see how fast that levels. From what I've heard, it's pretty damn fast. But that's something I'll find out later. I thought you might be along. Here, Cecil. A prize such as this should be in your keeping. What is it? We uncovered it not terribly far from where we executed the evoker's attire. I've judged the tome to be some manner of manual for summoning magic, but alas, I was unable to decipher the writings. Tis fortunate then that such a task falls directly within Ymitra's field of expertise. Speaking of which, would you mind taking the book to her yourself? She sent word that she had been held up by some dreary business in Revenant's Toll. Pray do be careful. Hang on, I want to make sure my audio is actually recording properly. Okay, it does. It is. Alright, what's going on over here? What's happening, lass? You don't look like you're in distress at all. My apologies. A trifling but unavoidable matter prevented me from making directly for the dig site. Now, shall we take a closer look at this elegant tome? What matter is that? Oh my. 'Tis rather more shabby than I would have come to expect from the great works of Alec. But let's not be discouraged. The content is what truly matters. A fine observation. No. What's going on? Oh! The book's alive! Principia at your service. I am a humble familiar. Humbly familiar with the doctrine of summoning. Have you awoken a sentient tome from an ancient library? Such that I must keep it contained. Have I somehow been given offense? Strange, for I am not equipped for offensive capabilities. Imparting the art of summoning is my function, and an instructional manual is my form. A manual, you say? Huh. Correct. When opening in the presence of summoners, I am bound to awaken and share with them the secrets of summoning. The young mistress there is in possession of an active soul crystal, yes? 'Twas the soul crystal that awoke you. Correct. Only one who carries a soul crystal and has bathed in the ether of an icon may wield the powers of a summoner. I sense one worthy of instruction and thus compelled to introduce myself. Icon. That is the elegant word for primal. Excuse my need to clarify the obvious, but you're a construct created to teach summoning magics to any potential student you encounter. Why would the ancients have deemed such a thing necessary? Summoning came into being for the purpose of eliminating beings, specifically those beings known as icons. Primals. Once these entities have all been vanquished, however, new energy cannot be harnessed. Old summoners perish, and so too does their art. It was upon glimpsing this bleak future that a certain master summoner said about crafting yours truly, inscribing with art's tremendous power exists to teach others how to safeguard their existence. Fascinating. Your creation speaks to the heart of the discipline's rarity. Summoning harnesses the power of primals for the sole purpose of destroying them, and new summoners arise only in an age when primals are rife. The absence of living mentors, a true succession of the art, is never achieved. Principia, are you then to instruct Cecil in lost secrets of Alec? I'm eager to oblige, but there are certain obligations. Ere the seal upon my higher knowledge can be unlocked, the student must first overcome 3 challenges I am in scrolls to present. Well, considering how it refers to primals as icons, I'm inclined to believe that we have an authentic Allegan relic in our hands. What say you, Cecil? Will you undertake these challenges? Must you have to ask? The first challenge is a test of power. This trial is designed to evaluate the raw magnitude of your arcane talent by pitting you against a predetermined opponent of carefully measured fortitude, also known as I manifest a monster and you fight it. Mayhap not terribly wise to attempt that in the middle of town. Oops, I skipped it. I skipped it! Where am I going? Going way out there. I'm going way out in the boondocks! The boondocks! Now, the story for the jobs going forward, besides maybe a couple, I'm very unfamiliar with, so this is the part where things start becoming new for me. It's like, because I ended up skipping it all, mostly. Mistress, you treat your own people as a superior, Principia? Such as it was the way in which I was written. And if my full name begins to tire your tongue, you may welcome me, call me Prin or Paya. Well, I rather like Prin. I mean, let's proceed with the challenge. Alright, I'm finding the demon wall made I don't know. Made something. A crushing victory, Cecil. Who would have argued the potential of a modern summoner after that display? I don't know. You have bested the first challenge, Mistress. There are a few summoners in Alec's long history who boasted this degree of native might. Furthermore, that you have achieved such potency through naught but the study of ancient wisdom is simply astonishing. With a little polish to your technique, guiding you to the loftier heights of power should be astonishingly simple. I thought Cecil's technique more than sufficiently polished, but you say there is room for improvement. I see we shall have to adjust our yalmstick for perfection if we are to rival the practitioners of the past. Indeed, if you would know more of the past practices, you need only ask. Actually, I do have a question for you, if you would indulge me, Cecil. Friend, in which age were you created? You appear to lack the technological advancements that were predominant in the constructs in the latter days of Alec's civilization. Another excellent observation. I was penned by Master Sari, a preeminent summoner of his time. He was, in fact, likely the last master summoner of the Allegan Empire's reign. Were I to date myself by your culture's notion of history, my creation would have taken place at a point just before the Empire's collapse. In other words, solidly within the richest era of etherochemical discovery. One might reasonably wonder why this wonderful science was excluded from my invention, and I assure you there is a reason. In the beginning, the Allegans rose to superiority through their mastery of magecraft. It is told that the very first wielded some summoning magic made do with grimoires fashioned of leather and ink and parchment. There came a tipping point, however, when the mundane sciences began to progress with ever-growing rapidity. These advances were married with the arcane, and etherochemical technology was born. Even as the harnessing of lightning energies gave rise to new recording mediums, techniques were developed that allowed complex arcane geometries to be instantly plotted. Traditional grimoires were replaced by devastatingly efficient and elegant weapons. The convenience of these tools, however, did not lend themselves well to the instruction of initiates. Beyond such considerations, the new mediums could not be pursued without dedicated machinery, and their manufacture was no simple matter. And so the summoner who breathed life into you decided that tomestones and the like were not the ideal method for passing on his accumulated wisdom. Correct. He chose me the primitive form of a book, and inscribed within my pages abounded potent incantations that required no machine to be cast. Thank you, Pren. I thought only to satisfy my academic curiosity, but I found myself swept up in your descriptions of the past. You're truly another creation of an incredible age. And thank you for your patience, Cecila. Shall we return to Gridania? Man! That was informative. Got an info bomb dropped on us 11 minutes in. Alright. Let's go talk to the lass again. Well done, Cecil. We are one step closer to revealing a new secret of ancient Alleg. Pren will issue the next challenge for you after you've had the chance to reveal your studies and hone your abilities to a new level of perfection. I've decided to keep the familiar here at my side for the moment. Even with as many wonders as the area holds, folk tend to panic at the sight of a fanged tome that jumps around on its own accord. Yeah, oh, and pay no mind to Captain Wolf. He obviously wishes to secure my services for some task or another, but we have more important matters to attend to. Yeah. Oh, it's still 63 now. 63. I don't want 63. Huh. Interesting. Greetings, Tesla. It would seem that Prim would help speak with us the second challenge. Congratulations, mistress. You are sufficiently prepared to undertake the next test. Excuse me, Prin, but how can you tell? By analyzing the patterns of Mistress's ethereal emanations, I can gauge the strength and precision of her recently cast incantations. Of course, Mistress must attempt the challenge itself before I can provide an evaluation to the proper degree of accuracy. This will be a test of skill. To administer this trial under the prescribed conditions, however, I must request the assistance of several more summoners to play the role of antagonists. Several more summoners? In this day and age, that will be no easy feat to arrange. Come now, Yamitra. The solution is right under your nose. Cecil, your deeds have caught the attention of the highest echelons of the Flames. After learning what you're capable of, we've begun an initiative to take our very own summoners into battle against the Primals. A number of soldiers under my command have already begun intensive training. I handpicked veteran survivors of our expedition against the Free, and they've been issued the soul crystals we claimed from the Asians. Aye, and Captain Wolf has been howling in my ear for days, begging to enlist your aid as some kind of drill instructor to the ethereally gifted. And now you're in need of summoners for this trial of yours, yes? I am prepared to offer my regiments full cooperation. All I ask in return is a few morsels of advice for the acolytes. It seems to me a fair trade, and my achievements do not restrict me from instructing neophyte summoners in the fundamentals of the art. Very well. I suppose such an arrangement could prove convenient for us all. I knew you'd come around. Meet me at Camp Blue Fog, and I'll assemble the troops for inspection. The student has become the teacher. All right. Let's head on over there. Alright. Looks like we're all here. Let's get on with the briefing, shall we? Oops. As you command. This second challenge will evaluate the elegance of your technique as opposed to the magnitude of your miasma. First, I shall infuse the edge of your opponents with secondary enchantments, and then you are to engage the entities in combat. Prin explained to me that the enchantments stored in the ether expended during the battle and allow for an in-depth analysis of your flair for death flares, as it were. In any case, I expect you'll be passed with flying colors. Right, I suppose you should know who you're up against. Designation and rank. Summoner Crispin, Private, First Class. We're grateful for all you can teach us, miss. My chocobo. Ragnarok, you're kind of in Denise's face. Oh, maybe she likes that. Summoner Denise, Sergeant. I'm new to spellcasting, but I've seen my share of combat, miss. Crispin and I are to fight you as a pair. Summoner Jaja Samu, Lieutenant. You've more than a few admirers in the barracks, Cecila. Miss. But that don't mean we'll go easy on you. Enough chatter. Quick, march to the training ground. Give the word to Crispin and Denise when you're ready to battle their edgy, Cecila. After that, you'll be facing off against the Lieutenant's beast. You won't be attacking my troops directly, so it'll give it all you got. Alright. That sounds like an easy task to perform. Let's do it! Prepare yourself, miss. Denise and I will summon our servants to battle. Aye, a pair of Ifrit edgy for you. Alright. Die! Now, your turn. You finished warming up on them embers then? Cause then together, me mates edgy won't hold a candle to the infernal I can summon. Right, let's bring the flames. That's a big beast. And dead. What do you mean more pressing matters at hand? I haven't hopes of that one, but you snipped them out quick. Not much of a trial, eh? Well, then you're lucky. I fought another primal during my time with the company of heroes. You're not the only someone who can command more than one ethereal beastie. Say hello to your final opponent, Titan Energy. Alright. I'll take on your big scary rock. Dead. I hope my summoners put up enough fight for you. Anyway, shall we hear what the book has to say? I have ruminated upon the swirls and echoes of your battle, and the picture is clear. Your technique is, without a doubt, a thing of exquisite beauty. Consider the second challenge conquered. Well, that's good news, if hardly surprising. After all, you did sweep through those edgy like a storm through a field of dandelions. Thanks. You've opened me eyes. I have some work to do before I've truly mastered this discipline. I'm glad to know you've been of service. Now we really must be returned to Gridania. Thank you, miss. That was truly an enriching experience. I pray to return with us again in the future. That was successful. That was also fast, too. Oh, no. It's about maybe a little shorter than the first one. Alright. Let's hurry on over there. Congratulations, Cecilla. With your impressive demonstrations of power and skill, you have already conquered two of three Prince's challenges. Ere we come to the final trial, however, Prin would further our education on the Allegan summoning. What's up? First, I would ask what you know of the rise and fall of summoning in the Allegan Empire. I was made to cover rather a long lot of history, if you understand. From our research, we learned that the summoners were initially lauded as heroes for the success against the primals. When certain of these mages began to abuse the art's power for personal gain, however, the adoration of the populace shifted toward an oppressive hatred. Correct. We speak now of the later half of the Third Astral Era. My creator, Master Sari, was one of those who expended his energies on the destruction of primals, even as he fled from the relentless persecution. Alongside his disciples, he triumphed over Bellius and many other lesser entities. Bellius? That was the name of the elder primal from whom Tristan once drew power. Master Sari must have been mighty indeed to defeat such a foe. Or Bellius, not Bellius. Yet he still knew fear. The thought of the grand discipline of summoning would fade into oblivion was more than what Master Sari could bear. And so he sought to preserve its legacy and provide for his successors. My creator was well versed in the etherochemistry and held a particular interest in the technology of information. Broadly speaking, he researched methods for producing arcane geometries without grimoires and experimented with machine-enhanced edgy. He eventually abandoned both of these technologies, deeming them unsuitable for the instruction for future generations. Hoping to provide guidance to those summoners yet unborn, he instead began writing an enchanting work that could survive down the ages. He made me. Such an accomplished personage. Why then have I seen but a scant mention of his name in Allegan's history? As you have said yourself, it was an age when the adulation of summoners experienced an extreme reversal. It is lucky that Master Sari's achievements were struck from the records, even as his little pupils were struck down in the streets. I was shut in a storeroom, abandoned to my slumber like some common treaties on trade agreements in the southern provinces, and thus I can tell you not what befell my creator in his later years. I expect to jot recite on the history of summoning, but you've shared with us your personal narrative. It is clear you hold a great deal of respect for Master Sari. I am familiar. I simply relay information as I was expelled. This lecture is now over. As you wish, Pran. Well, Cecilla, 'tis seemed class is dismissed for the moment. I suggest you recuperate from this day's trial and look forward to preparing yourself for the final trial, or the final challenge. The time has come, Cecilla. Prin is ready to administer the final trial. Yes, your third challenge is at hand, mistress. I shall be glad to at last share the wisdom that has long lain dormant within my pages. Thus far, we've had evaluations of raw power and refinement of skill. What then is the third challenge seek to test? That I cannot tell you. Cannot or will not. I do not keep this detail from you for the sake of my own amusement. It must be a secret. Were you aware of the test's purpose, such wisdom would unfairly affect its outcome. What I will tell you, however, is that this trial requires conditions that are akin to an actual battlefield. And such, I ask that you call fellow summoners to your side and arrange a location where you might join hands against a realistic primal threat. Well, this ought to be more welcome news for Captain Wolf. I shall see his acolytes that are available. Greetings, this is Yamitra of the Sons of Saint Quinat. I have a favor to ask. Well, Captain Wolf was more than eager to accept our request. He even offered to arrange an exclusive use of the section of Steel Rock. It seems there is an airship waiting in Ul'dah to fly us to the island. Shall we rendezvous at the landing once we are prepared then? This will be the final and most grueling challenge. Pray ready yourself, mistress, that you do not be reduced to so much gruel. I can take it. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. All right. I don't know about you, Sessa, but my nerves are beginning to get the best of me. Captain Wolf and the others have already landed on Steel Rock, so let's not delay the challenge any further. Who could that be? Oh, Samurai Jaja-samu. Whom? How might I... Pardon? By whom? Lieutenant, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Blast. The call was cut off. Sessa, our immortal colleagues are under attack. Their situation sounds dire indeed. All the summers are crippled by injuries, and Captain Wolf alone fights to keep the foe at bay. Our planned fight has become rather more than we anticipated. We best explain matters to the pilot and arrange a rescue party. Oh boy. Ambush, you say? Understood. I'll put in a call for reinforcements, but my ship is ready to depart now if you are. Shall we go ahead? Let's do it! I can do it! I'm not scared. Follow me, Cecila. They should be over this way. Where the hell are we? Located survival. Survivor lessons ensures continued survival. I'll live, I think. The others became separated. Oh, what's going on down there? His wounds are not too serious. Come, Cecil, we must hurry. Where the hell is this? Is this by Cartnew Flats? These edgy? I've never seen their like. I recognize them from Allegan times, but few can summon so many. Sephiroth. Uh-oh. Oh boy. There's more Sephiroth edgies. Such odd vocalizations. I have no record of edgy speech. It's Sephiroth. It's a Warren Triad. Dead. Another survivor located. The wounds appear grievous. Grievous. We must treat these at once. Brandon, can you apply pressure? We are completely overmatched. The captain, he drew them away. We should attend to the injured. Go with haste, mistress. Yeah, buddies, reinforcements have arrived. Sussa, thank the gods. I'm in over my head here. The potential has arrived. Shall we test the power limits of your power? Who's this guy at? Who's this joker? So this is what the art has become. More, show me more! Familiar with Bahamut's power, are you? You must have another taste. Can't avoid those flares. They seem weakest at the center of the blast. Who is this man? He's worse than the Asians. Oh boy. We got to get in the center of those circles. Wait, those don't look like edgy. They're not. Well, hello. Twintania. Its summoning skill, expensive at the ethereal might. You're truly a fascinating specimen. Who the hell is this guy? Alright. And his wane. This location was not ideal. That's your fault. Alright, now it's time for you! Good sir. Whoever you are. Anomalous potential confirmed. Commencing scan. What's going on? Latin ethereal capacity immeasurable. Standard parameters exceeded. Reinitializing system. What's happening here? What? He wants to go another round? Master, sorry. How have you come to be here? Oh, Master. Surely you don't mean that sorry. Ah, Principia, they have awoken you. This should suffice. Uh-oh. What did you do to Prin? The construct is unharmed. I simply added another layer of security. Do not disappoint me, Summoner. I'll be waiting. Where the hell is this guy at? And what's this Joker? Oh, odd. The way he vanished was almost as if... Doll's teeth, what was that all about? Bah, we'll discuss this back in Old Art we've seen to the wounded. But I wanted to explore Seal Rock. It looks like a nice place. You arrived in the nick of time, Tesla. Thanks to you, my soldiers survived that ambush and they'll be fit for duty again after a bit of rest. Aye, you have our gratitude. If you hadn't plunged into the fray like that, we almost certainly would have perished. You said that bastard was Master Sorry, didn't ye? A summoner of ancient Alec? Did that magus have some way of coming back to life? Alright, Lieutenant, let's not jump to conclusions. Well, he was wielding summoning magics unlike aught we've ever seen before. Maybe Prin has some idea. I'll be sure to ask. Come, Cecil, let's return to Gardania. Man, shit's going down. Shit's going down! Alright. What's going on over here? Well, that was meant to be Cecil's final trial with solar testing, to say the least. Tell me, Prim, what makes you so sure that that was Master Sorry? Based upon the evidence at hand, there can be no doubt. The vocal and ethereal signatures were identical to those exhibited by my creator. The only aspect that gives me pause is his behavior. Master Sorry was never one to offer harm to others with such callous indifference. I would say that there is a larger inconsistency to consider here. Prin, your creator supposedly died several thousand years ago. There is one other possibility. The greatest minds of Alec can unlock a science known as cloning, by which they could artificially create a replicant of a living being. Seal Rock is, after all, a construction of the Yagan Empire. Assuming the individual you battle was indeed a clone of Master Sorry, then my senses would recognize no appreciable difference. An exact copy of the original person. It would explain much, but the very thought of it is horrifying. Oh, and he did not tamper with your enchantments? Are you truly unharmed? My faculties are undimmed, but the wisdom I was to impart in the mistress has been sealed behind an arcane lock. I can do nothing, only my creator holds the key. And your secrets are lost to us. If only Cecil was able to attempt that third challenge. Attempt? The mistress has already passed it. Allow me to explain. Third challenge was a test of the summoner's nature. Thus does the trial require the presence of companions and a realistic threat. Master Sari's ambush did, of course, bring an unexpected dimension to proceedings. Yet Mistress leapt into the aid of our fellow summoners without hesitation and braved considerable danger to see that they are safely rescued. Selfless acts that more than qualify Mistress as a worthy successor. I had wondered why power and skill were not sufficient. Sari wished to see his teachings passed on to summoners of noble heart. Correct. You do not countenance the idea that such knowledge might be put to evil ends. Now you understand why his display of violence so confused me. Aye, and all the more reason to suspect an impostor. But whatever this man's identity may be, we will track him down and make him remove that seal. Your purpose is too important. And I will assist in any way I can. The Master Sari that maiden would not stand to see his memory profaned with such wickedness. Well said, Prin. For an enchanted stack of ink and parchment, you have an impressively developed moral compass. I possess neither morals nor a compass. I merely follow my inspelled directions to guide worthy summoners. If I give the impression of such characteristics, then mayhap I am overstepping my bounds as a familiar. No, you're fine, Prin. Forget I mentioned it. I will see that if I can unearth more detailed records of Master Sari. Mayhap the story of his later life will aid us in unraveling this present mystery. Alright, you do that. You do that. I searched through the user histories and found some scant mention of Sari. 'Tis as Prince said, records of his existence have all been expunged. And since my own knowledge is limited to the day I was stored away, we must rely on those lost Algan records that escaped the purge. My colleagues, Rambros, may be able to help us there. Hardly a day goes past when this team does not lift some forgotten treasure from the ruins in Mordona. Shall I pay him a visit? Alright, we have yet to go to any of the Stormblood areas, so, where is the Stormblood aspect of this? But let's see what our good buddy Rambros has to say. Mitra has informed me of your search, and I shall be certain to contact you should our discoveries include any mention of the Sari. They may, however, be a swifter way to acquire the information you seek. I know of a certain merchant who collects undeciphered tomestones with even more greater zeal than the sons of Saint Koinot. Ah, you speak of Rowena. Oh, shocking. Aye, we have formed something of a symbiotic relationship with her consortium. In return for financing our excavations, we provide Rowena with a selection of our finds. I'm sure you won't find her amenable to a request for aid, or for assistance. After all, you will merely need to borrow her tomestones for a time, yes? Here, I penned a letter with my personal reassurances that her stock will be returned none the worse the wear. Oh boy. She's kind of difficult to deal with. Alright. Let's go talk to Rowena. Alright, what can I do for you? This you can do. So you're the backing of old Rambros, eh? Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to lend some of my tombstones. In fact, I'll do you one better and let you borrow the transcripts. Courtesy of the scribes at the ironworks. As books, they're a damn sight heavier, but you don't need fancy machines when it's all penned down in ink and parchment. Give me a summary of the contents when you're finished, and I'll consider that as payment. Collectors will part with more than coin than they know what they're getting. My time's too precious to waste on reading ancient history. Consider it a deal, Rowena, and thank you. Well, so that's shall we get to work? I gotta read books now. There's a lot of books. Fancy that. I barely began skimming the first volume and there are already some promising passages. Let's wait, print, and share our findings, shall we? Rambros, if you come to check on our progress. This charming tome is Principia, a sentient familiar of ancient Alleg. A pleasure to meet you, Master Rambros. Pray call me Pren if you prefer. Thank you, Pren. And might I say what a privilege it is to meet such a rare and clever construct. Clever? Well, yes, apparently Pren was written that way. In fact, we were just hoping to hear an opinion of a new snippet of information I've uncovered. 'Twas an order listed in a record of Imperial military communications commanding that the fruits of the Master Summoner's research be seized. It appears that the army had more than passing interest in Sari's experiments. What exactly was the purpose of this research? Master Sari toiled to wed summoning magics with etherochemical technology. For example, he experimented with replacing grimoires with mechanical mediums and sought to manifest energy of greater authenticity by utilizing high-speed computations. Simply put, he turned to machines to enhance traditional summoning methods. Is that the gist of it? Correct, but Master Sari was never one to abuse the success of his experiments, no matter how he magnified his power. He would not place trust in machines. Their inherently complex natures was too prone to error, he said. The dates in his communications indicated time in the latter half of Sari's life. Is it possible something could have occurred between crafting you and the execution of this order that may greatly alter the summoner's outlook? There was, of course, a violent wave of anti-summoner sentiments that swept through Alleg. It claimed the lives of many of Master Sari's disciples. Following their deaths, he began spending much of his time cloistered within his laboratory. Such an incident could certainly be responsible for changing a man. And Principia, you were unaware of subsequent events once you fell into slumber, yes? From what we've learned so far, it's safe to say that the foe we encountered is related to Sari's research in some way. And there are likely more clues buried in these records. I shall speak with Captain Wolf and ask to borrow the sharp minds of his summoner squad. 'Tis a rather intimidating pile to tackle on our own. Well, seeing as you have the transcripts, there is no need to travel far. You're welcome to make use of my tent and the reference materials on Alleg found therein. That will be an enormous help, thank you. Let's sell these books to the dig site, shall we? And you just leave the books on the table? Not the table. The bench? Alright. Our summoner colleagues arrived with the swiftness after I relayed to them our request, as well as them recover from their injuries. With everyone pitching in, we stand a good chance of finding something useful. Here's the bugger I was looking for. This is a record of the military finally caught up with Sari. It says here the summoner was found dead, killed by someone else, it seems. Then we have proof of the original Sari's demise in the Third Glacial Era. Now there remains the question of who or what attacked us in this age. My clone is on one of those clone creations. Is there a lot more to the story, Lieutenant? It goes on to describe how the Imperial took over Sari's research, lauding his experiments as exceptionally dangerous, but ripe with potential applications. They shifted operations to an artificial island soon after and began practical testing. One cataclysmic accident later, though, and that was the end of that. This artificial land must be referenced to Seal Rock, the very site of our encounter in the present day Sari. During the battle, my creator's simulacrum exhibited the ability to summon multiple edgy simultaneously, as well as manifest highly authentic facsimiles of flesh and blood entities. Basis for every one of these unorthodox techniques can be traced back to Master Sari's research into machine-enhanced summoning. I say we have enough evidence to support a working theory then. Namely that the Algan military was using a clone of the deceased Sari to perform hazardous experiments. Tests which explored the feasibility of aerochemically bolstered summoning magics. And when we landed on Steel Rock, we must have somehow woken the remnants of those experiments. Yeah, we have solved the mystery of who the attacker was, but now I would know the place where he fled. What refuge exists for such a being? For one I can gather, the results of Sari's work were bundled off to some secret laboratory called the Chemical Research Facility. Oh, shocking! You know this place, miss? Is it far? Kind of. As is law, if that's where they're keeping Sari's research, then it's possible the clone may have headed there. Our squad will fly back to Steel Rock and make further investigations. The relics of the past may behold some hint we haven't yet considered. An excellent idea, thank you. We shall return to Gridania for the time being. Again, where's the Stormblood aspect of this set of job quests? These are all in Stormblood. This is all like this all takes place in Stormblood. At least before that took us into the hinterlands. Shit. Alright. I received an update from Captain Wolf regarding their investigations in Steel Rock. It would seem that certain of the Algan relics have shown signs of recent activation. The mechanisms were too heavily damaged to offer more in the way of useful information, however. I fear we must brave this Az's Law facility and search for Sari ourselves. Is that what he was hoping for when he said I'll be waiting? It is possible. I do not think the detail important at the time, but the log engaged by Master Sari's simulacrum was not the strictest of the strictest tier. Rather, the seal is one which fades upon the sealer's demise. Then he was goading us into finding and defeating him. Another challenge, or is it simply a trap? I'm not fond of rushing into the unknown. Gird yourself for the worst, Tesla, and I'll learn the present circumstances of the research facility. I've learned what there is to be learned at the research facility. The time has come to make our move. From what my sister and her colleagues have told me, the laboratories are housed in an extremely dangerous quadrant of Az's Law. We will not want to wander around inviting trouble, but rather plot the swiftest and safest route to our destination. There should be a terminal somewhere that will allow us to pinpoint the section of where Sari's research is being stored. Once we arrive on Az's Law, finding such a terminal will be our highest priority. I've informed Captain Wolf of our forthcoming expedition. He insisted that he and his summoner squad provide us with support. Let us make ready and meet them at Helix. Man, been a good while since we've been to Az's Law. Alright, let's see what we can find. Az's Law is even more fantastical than I'd imagined, but we mustn't let ourselves be distracted by the scenery. We should fan out and search for a control panel of some description. And we can use that to plan the simplest route to our objective, yes? Aye, then plunge ahead, swift and sure, and bring an end to this bastard clone. That's my intention. Tis important to note, however, that we have yet to determine if our enemy is truly a clone or not. Even an artificial copy would appear as a living, breathing being. The man you fought on Steel Rock almost seemed otherworldly. I'm inclined to agree with you, Ymitra. But now, no matter what he is, we need to slay him to let Prince seal. The job remains the same. True enough. Then we should first focus on finding that terminal. Cecil, if you would, pray search around the base of the Warren Triad statues. Keep your guard up. The sergeant knows we're coming. He may have prepared a welcome. Good. Wonderful. Gotta go all the way up. All the way up. I suppose this whole thing still looks like a giant airship than it does a research facility. All right. Let's see, what is around here? Aha! Burn! I predicted you'd be the first to find me, unless the summoner would have been slain. Cecila! Sorry's clone! It's here! Clone? I seek to explain my existence. An understandable theory, but I'm far more than one of those clumsy creations. You had best abandon this flawed perception, lest it lead you down the path to failure. I shall wait you inside, potential. You will pass my test, your true final challenge, or you will die never knowing what I truly am. Out of Tall's teeth, he's gone again! Did you see that, Cecila? The way he vanished? 'Tis akin to the dismissal of a summoned entity. So you're saying he's some sort of edgy? One what's wearing Sari's face? But how can he look so solid and, well, alive? With the aid of a computational machine, it would be theoretically possible to reconstruct Ether into a near-perfect replica of Sari's corporeal form. He was summoned using a machine? Correct. Master Sari's research developed mechanical substitutes for grimoires. In fact, the lieutenant is standing right in front of one. This thing, eh? It looks a bit like them tome lists on Steel Rock, only they was much bigger. Gods, can the bugger pop up anywhere there's one of these devices? I think we can now safely assume that Sari is the product of enhanced summoning magic. But our answer leaves us with another question. If Sari is the edgy, then who is the summoner? Even if the grimoire is replaced by a machine, there must still exist the one who commands it. We've got to find the master then. If we don't squash the summoner, the past will just bring the Sari edgy back again and again and again. Whoever the bastard may be, he or she must be concealed somewhere nearby. An entity will always be someone within a certain distance of the summoner. Even machine-enhanced techniques cannot circumvent this basic principle. That our antagonist chose not to make an appearance on Steel Rock suggests a reluctance to expose oneself to direct harm. In this location, however, with so many computational devices near to hand, I expect the foe's art will be significantly bolstered. So, the edge will be even stronger than last time. All the more reason to take down this summoner quickly before we swamped with ethereal horrors. Well, I brought a little device that should help. An etherometer I borrowed from my sister, Stola. If I can detect the right currents, it should lead us straight to our hidden enemy. Excellent, Ymitra. That may make all the difference. Right, let's be about this then. Summoner Squad, take the van and clear the way around. Clear the way forward. Alright, we've been waiting for the chance to prove ourselves. You just focus on finding the summoner and we will sweep aside the dregs. Alright, let's do it. Ready for round 2, Cecila? The terminals provide us with a direct route to the research storage chamber. We're going to rip through this facility and take Sari's clone apart. It is an ethereal entity, Captain Wolf, not a clone. And I must point out that your true objective is the summoner rather than the servant. Right, I knew that. As we planned then. Summoner Squad, front and center. Carve Cecila a path through. Alright, Captain. Ymitra, you're in charge of finding whoever's pulling this imposter Sari's strings. Let's go. Oh boy. Oh, I'm in, oh. Wait, where am I? Wonderful, you've done well to make it this far. The summoner has to be around here somewhere. Ymitra, use your gadget. I'll buy you some time. We came here to remove the seal you put on Principia. Do as we asked, this can all end peacefully. I'm sorry, Captain, but I'm afraid I can't do that. To do so would run contrary to the purpose for which I was created. Surely by now you have come to realize my true nature. You are an entity in the form of my creator, an existence made possible through a fusion of summoning magic and etherochemical technology. But while Master Sari was the last of the great summoners of Aleg, you are not more than an elaborate imitation. You're no match for the summoner who now stands before you. Very good, but your conjecture has missed the mark. What I am is a defense mechanism that is capable of self-enhancement in order to combat ever greater threats. Shall I phrase this in simple terms? In the event that I encounter a presence with greater potential than Sari, I am compelled to harness that potential through main force, and compose its ether into a new guardian entity. You mean to kill Cecila and make an Edgy the Warrior of Light? Have we reached an understanding? A peaceable conclusion to this encounter was never forthcoming. His reasoning is broken down. Your deeds have saved countless lives and it will continue to do so. How can one justify killing you, mistress, when you embody the very principles of which summoning magic was invented? Ymitra, any luck finding that summoner? I've just finished the tracing the threads. The camouflage is impressive, but I'm still shocked that we missed something of that size. Our true enemy is up there. Oh. One of those stupid orbs. How observant of you. You've uncovered Master Summoner Sari's greatest masterpiece. An artificially sentient evocation matrix. Good, there's two of them. The complexity of my design simply cannot be compared to the primitive principles used in Principia's construction. Oh good, there's the third one. Wonderful. Your defeat is inevitable. What is this, the Power Rangers? You got the White Ranger, you got the Red Ranger, and you got the Yellow Ranger. Tough talk for an aging machine whose logic channels have obviously rusted with disuse. Mistress, might you and your companions dispel this unsightly and unseemly amalgamation of refuse? I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I can beat your ass. Alright. 3 at once. Stay focused. We cannot afford no missteps. There were no false steps from us, isn't that right, Cecila?
Alright. Give me that damage. Potential confirm as priority target for ethereal reconstitution. Evocation reinitialized. Oh, there's more. Great. I'll seek more of the damn things. Where does it end? Steel yourself, mistress. This machine means to overwhelm you. I'm not scared. Combined strength is unexpected. Accessing security systems. Reviving bioweapon. Sorry, speech has become stifled, stilted. It's strange to maintain the charade. Alert! Alert! System overload detected. Deploy to advanced security measures. I think we made it angry, but that must mean we're winning. Exterminate hostile entities. Exterminate! Systems recognize you as a legitimate threat. Its primary directive is overridden. It means destroy you by any means. Uh-oh. I wanna be in that. Oh, I got hit. Exterminate! Machine is out of control. One last push, mistress, and victory will be yours. Ignore the sorry edgy. Destroy the machine. Dead. We did it, Cecil. We won. I never doubted you, mistress. May I suggest we not exit this unpleasant place? Hip hip hooray! And a stunning victory, Cecil. We've won the day, but Captain Wolf wished to stay behind and conduct a thorough search. I told him it was still too dangerous to wander around alone, but the captain is a stubborn man. Not to worry though. If aught should happen, we'll soon charge off to fight at his side. Captain Wolf will call if he needs us. We should be celebrating here. Does this not mean Prince Seal is now broken? Master's success is indeed something to be celebrated, I was not crafted to experience emotion, but I do feel a certain rustle of satisfaction in my pages. Once you've mastered them high and mighty techniques, you'll be stronger than ever. Well, I think I'd rather learn by your example anyway, instead of from musty scrolls written by some long-dead Allegan summoner. It is in the hopes of achieving just such an outcome that I awoke from my slumber. The art of summoning is for the living, as for my creator once was so fond of declaring. Cecilla, Brent, let's say our farewells for the moment. I thank you for your aid. Everyone, we could not have done this without you. Alright. Back to Gridania. Back to Gridania. Back to Gridania. Oops, that's not where I want to go. That's not what I wanted to do either. So far, this is about a little longer than the first, the 50 to 60 quest. It's just by like maybe 10 minutes or so. So we're already looking at like at a 2 hour, at least a 2 hour video. So plus we got the single level 80 quest, which isn't very long. So this video will probably be like 2.5 hours. Welcome back, Cessa. You were only meant to face 3 challenges, yet we ended up chasing your prize into the heavens themselves. An unexpected development which you can handle with exceptional grace, mistress. And now, at long last, I can finally bequeath to you the highest secrets of summoning. Pray step forward. Sweet! On a momentous occasion, the wisdom of the last Alex Master Summoner is yours. Ere you depart to explore your newfound powers, however, Captain Wolf has a report for us. It should explain much of what occurred on Az's Law. Aye, well, I wanted to be sure that machine was truly undone, after looking around inside it, I discovered a number of soul crystals. According to Principia, they belonged to Sari's disciples. The captain also unearthed a tombstone containing undoctored records of that age. It would seem that following the murder of a student, Sari became increasingly bitter. I'm not surprised. He began to doubt that the future could be safely entrusted to the capricious whims of mortals. Instead, he explored the other methods by which new generations might be safeguarded from the threat of primals, and committed himself to etherochemical research. As you may surmise, the evocation matrix was the end result of Master Sari's toil. Drawing on its embedded soul crystals and unrivaled computational power, this terrible invention was capable of manifesting a veritable host of ethereal avatars. Once he was satisfied with his work, Sari commanded the machine to act as the civilization's mightiest guardian. Then he killed himself. His ethereal innocence was absorbed, and a formidable edge was added to his invention's arsenal. So now you know the truth of it. What a price to pay to ensure that the art of summoning survived until the morrow. After failing to protect his disciples, I wonder if he meant to preserve the soul crystals in their stead. Even if that were his intentions, he chose the wrong way to achieve it. Pren here is the embodiment of the hopeful ideals of Sari's younger self. The murderous machine of his later years is a product of frustration and anger and grief. But what shall we do with the crystals? We cannot risk them falling into the hands of another villain like Tristan. If you wish, I could swallow the crystals and hold them safe until such another era has need of them. My enchantments would ensure that they would pass only to the hands of the worthy. Swallow? You mean eat them? Fear not, Captain, I have no digestive tract for which to speak. And now that I have instructed Mistress in the wisdom of Alec, this task shall be the last I perform ere I return to slumber. Wait, so this is farewell? Correct, or mayhap more appropriately, good night. As a familiar, I was not spelled to experience loneliness. I was, however, written with the knowledge that it was best not to draw out parting of ways with needless sentimentality. No tears for you then, eh, Pren?
Summoning magic was created to combat the threat of the primals. The ideal world is one in which I need never again awaken. Wield the art well, mistress. It's a big ass book. Look at the size of the thing. And it shrunk in size. Off to dreamland, just like that. I suppose Prin's purpose is served, and that's the same as sad happiness to a familiar. Speaking of serving one's purpose, I think it's time I took my leave. Aye, the tasks of the morrow beckon to us all. Let us do what we may, so that Prin might rest peacefully for many years to come. Oh, ain't that nice and lovely? Nice. Now, let me see that. Okay. So yeah, before I can actually do the level 80 quests, I gotta do the role quests for the DPS, or the casting DPS or the mage DPS. So, interesting. I forgot that was a thing. That's fine. That's fine. I can handle that. I guess I'll say it now. Well, yeah, I guess I'll say it now because this is like the first video that's actually gotten to that point. With the role quests, how I'm gonna handle the role quests, I'm gonna handle these in a kind of a certain way. Since the targets in question, because if you recall from the role quests, we're hunting down sin eaters of the former warriors of light. So, you know, in respect to that, I kind of want to do it with their respective jobs. So like white mage on white mage, black mage on black mage, paladin and paladin, and bard on bard. So that's how I'm thinking about going about doing it. So yeah, again, role quests will be their own video. So yeah, I guess I'll figure out I'll figure it out how I'm gonna do it. But yeah, that's the level 60 through 70 quests. I will be back when I'm level 80 and I can actually do the final job quest for Summoner. Alright, we are level 80. We've done the role quests finally, so we can finally wrap up Summoner. It's been a couple days since I last since I finished up the level 60 through 70 quest as Summoner. So let's completely wrap up this storyline, shall we? Cecil, I was just about to contact the Signs to ask after my sister, and here you are to provide a report in person. What news? To the first? On the 13th of, on one of the 13 reflections, you mean? I had thought my field of expertise a complicated one, but I struggled to comprehend the enormity of your tale. Still, Stolo seems to be faring well enough, and for that I am grateful. Yes, before I forget, I actually have a message to pass on to you. Do you recall Summoner Jaja Siamu, formerly of the Company of Heroes and current member of the Immortal Flames Summoner Squad? He commands both an Ifrit and Titan Edgy, and is likely to be one of the more seasoned. Well, I'm sure you remember. He is in Gridania on leave, as it happens, and asked me to direct you to the Carline Canopy should you stop by for one of your unpredictable visits. I believe he wished to consult you on some private matter. It would be kind for you to lend him an ear if you have a moment to spare. Alright. Let's go see what this guy wants. Oh man, it's been probably about, oh shit, it's probably been about a week since I wrapped up the level 70 quest as summoner. The reason why it took me so long to get to this is because I had to level up Black Mage, and so I can go through the role quests in the Crystarium for the caster DPS. Because I've mentioned this before, and that I've mentioned this throughout the the Black Mage quest line, and I think a little bit in the Scholar quest line too. I decided to do the role quest in a certain order, and Black Mage was part of that order. Bloody hell, I was just thinking about you, and there you are. You made sure you had a word on my behalf, I take it. Well, it's not stand on ceremony. What's going on, buddy? I'll not mince words with ye. I need some advice concerning summoners in Mortal Kombat. They're telling me that you've a special nature which prevents primals from enthralling your mind. So, what I want to know is, what's your thinking on being sent out to the front lines every time a beast tribe scrapes together a pile of crystals? That's just the way of things. Such is your fate, you mean? So you give in to the inevitable and fight because it's your duty to do so? Well, that's one way of looking at it. I'm in it for the coin. Have been ever since I sold me spells for the company of heroes. Most of the soldiers I march with ain't much different. We're happy to put our lives in the line as long as there's a purse waiting for us at the end of the day. The pair that would joined in on our last skirmish, though, now there's a whole nother story. What's going on? You've heard of Arnvald and Fordola, aye? Yes. What about him? The lad's one of the Scions, same as you, no mystery there. As for the last, she's a bit more complicated. Former officer in the Imperial Army, captured by the Resistance and steps away from the noose. Fighting for Alamigo as a conscript now, which is why the only reason she's still breathing. Barely more born sprouts, both of them, they was deployed for the Flames to assist with Down and Ifrit. From what I hear, they share your resistance to primal influence, and that's the whole reason they had the dubious honor of standing in the thick of the flames. Interesting. So this is what they've been up to since we were in the first. Meanwhile, me and my fellow summoners were cowering in the shadows, sending out our energy to support these youngsters. What would have seen less than 40 summoners between them. Can't say I cared much for the experience. It bothered me to think they was being made to fight a battle what weren't theirs just because of who they were. Do you think you could talk to them for me? Ask how they feel about the whole thing? You're about the only person I can turn to. Me thanks. You'll find Arnvald in Rolger's region, and he'll know where to find Fordola. I'll tell him to meet you up at the Aetheryte. Alright. I'm assuming this is gonna play out before, since you would have done this normally after completing the base story of Shadowbringers. He's not gonna be in a wheelchair, probably. I'd be pretty surprised if he was, but I don't think he is. Nope. I figured as much. Cause yeah, he's not in a wheelchair at this point in time. Cecil, I heard about you returned from Jaja Samu. What can I do for you, do for our honor champion? Jaja Samu said that. I rejoined him against Ifrit,
but I thought him more annoyed by our presence than concerned for our well-being. Why don't I save you some time and include Fordola in this conversation? We can visit her in her cell over in the city. Alright, save a trip. Oh, she takes me straight there. Alright. This is interesting because when I did this on my main, I think I skipped all these. So I haven't seen these scenes. Fair evening to you, Fordola. You again? And I see you brought company. What is it now? My thoughts on fighting primals? Is that what you came all the way here to ask me about? I fight because I like the idea I can help others, the feeling that my presence is needed. Not hard to explain, considering how my own mother decided she didn't want me around. And then there was that nightmare at the Waking Sands. Abba and Ali gave their lives to save mine. I tried to be the sort of man whose life was worth saving. How very honorable, but no such lofty ideals rule my actions. My own will doesn't come into it. Fighting was part of the deal, and they conscripted me with the other convicts. I follow orders, and I get to live. And if I died on the battlefield, no one would shed a tear. Don't say that. You'd think I'd be glad to see you killed. You'd be about the only person who wasn't. And what about you, hero? You're usually the first one they throw into the dragon's maw. Let's hear what battles you've been made to fight. I was summoned to a world drowned in light. I joined the struggles of a man seeking to save a companion. Oh man. Shit. I was summoned to a drowned world drowned in light. Let's go with this one. You journeyed to another star to bring back the darkness? I'm not sure if you're the realm's greatest champion or the realm's greatest liar. I believe you, Cecil, and want to follow the path you walk. Even if I could never hope to carry the same burdens, I can at least work towards having a sturdier back. Speaking of burdens, you know a little something about that, don't you, Fordola? You weren't fighting for yourself after all, but for your comrades. We're not so Oh, death stare. Don't pretend my gift is anything like yours. I wanted it, asked for it even, but got more burden than I bargained for. How many souls were sacrificed for that research? No, the power they gave me was tainted from the beginning. But if I can do some good with it, then maybe they didn't die for naught. Satisfied? Then leave me be. I've got training to do. Well, got something out of it, I guess. If we're waiting for the lad in silver armor, he'd be out there. She'd be out there soon. She still snarls like a chained dog. Amidst all that growling, though, she gave us a glimpse of her true self, and enough that I'll know when to lend a shoulder, even if she wouldn't let me see her suffering. Now, don't get the wrong idea. Same age, same homeland. I can't help but care a little about what happens to her. Sure. You don't need to hide it from me, it's quite obvious.
Anyway, I have my own training to think of. Give my regards to Summoner Jaja-Samu. Jaja-Samu. You can't hide it from me, it's quite obvious. You trying to deny it is quite clear. It makes it quite clear even more. Where you at, buddy? There you are. You've been to see them two youngsters then? Yes. Huh, so that's the way of it, eh? Well, I shouldn't be surprised considering the example they've been given to follow. And now that I know that how they're approaching these fights, I can adjust my own tactics accordingly. One's passionate and the other's reckless, so they both need some watchful support. I'll do what I can to stand in for you, though. I doubt I'll ever replace you. Aye, they'll call me the second best summoner in Eorzea. How's that for humble? Right, I think it's past time I was on my way. Give me best to you, Mitra. Cecila, and thanks for humoring me request. Alright. It's still pretty crazy how all the city streets are so crowded with people now. Usually it's Limsa. It's not so crowded now because they re-enabled the auto kick. If you aren't sure what that means is, if you're AFK for 30 minutes, you get kicked out of the game because of the servers are so congested. Everything went well with the lieutenant, I trust. Yes. I won't pry into the details, but I'm glad to see you looking so content. This master summoning is an arduous journey, yet I imagine that the going is made far smoother with a mentor such as you. I'm somewhat envious of your younger colleagues. And if I'm to mirror their progress, I must allow my own scholarly research to fall by the wayside. Good day to you, Cecila. You got a long way to go, lady. I'm sorry to say this, but you're no summoner. Alright, and that is the end of the level 50 through 80 summoner quests. Oh man, it's been a journey so far. But yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next part. Later.